Music's biggest night is this Sunday night, the 61st Annual Grammy Awards, and we are lucky to have a first-time nominee right here with us on CBSN New York. We see Jon Batiste every night on CBS 2. Of course, he is the music director on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Batiste leads his band Stay Human, which he started 15 years ago when he was a student at Juilliard. We will get to that later because there is a lot to talk about with this acclaimed musician, singer, and composer. And we're on the beat with Jon Batiste, and we welcome you here.
Great to be here. I'm glad to be here.
It is so nice to have you here. And how does this Grammy nomination feel? My goodness.
It feels great. You know, I had the opportunity when I was in high school. I went to the Grammys, and then last year I performed at the Grammys, and now to be nominated is a beautiful thing.
So, well, we know what could be next, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yes,
we don't want
indeed.
To I love this category, Jon. Best American Roots Performance, the song St. James Infirmary Blues.
That's right. That's right.
Let's talk about that. And we know Louis Armstrong, right? It's about almost a century old, this song.
Oh, my goodness. This song is so old that no one knows who composed it, but people have actually made reinventions of the song, and I did my own reinvention on this album. It's amazing because I learned this song when I was about 12 years old. In New Orleans, where I'm from, music is everywhere. So people teach you music in a way that's very much a part of the communal experience. I remember learning this song while on a gig.
My gosh.
Somebody leaning over my shoulder who was like a village elder to me.
Yes.
Just teaching me this song. And now to be nominated for a Grammy for playing the song is amazing.
What full circle. I want our viewers right now to listen to you because it is just like the physicality of this song and the way he speaks through his fingers to the ivory. Listen, listen.
Oh my goodness.
She can search this wide world over, yeah. But no, she's never ever gonna find another sharp dressing, piano playing man like me.
Jon, how do you make this song yours? You know, when you're talking about so many people who have sung this, have played it, just every little second, the nuances of your voice and the performance on the piano. Tell me about what you're thinking, what you're doing.
It's just about being comfortable in your own skin, you know, and performing from a place of authenticity. I really wanted to make something that was back to basics, just piano and the microphone. And
very raw, isn't it?
Yeah, just raw, and no production elements beyond the soul. Let the soul come out.
Just right there, we bear witness to it. This album that the St. James Infirmary is on is called Hollywood Africans.
Yes.
And there's a story behind that.
Yes.
Right? Tell me about that and the painter, painting and the painter.
The painter is Jean-Michel Basquiat, and I'm writing a Broadway musical about Jean-Michel's life and his work, and I was studying his work, and I came across Hollywood Africans, which was a painting that kind of frames this album for me. It's the lineage of all the great entertainers, musicians, innovators in music and beyond that had to wear a mask and were facing duress and oppression, but transcended all that and created this great art. And for me, I'm a part of that lineage, and I don't have to wear a mask on this album. I'm just letting my soul speak through the piano and through my voice. Like I was saying, the songs on this record are almost all of them are 1 or 2 takes maximum.
No kidding.
And no edits, no auto-tune. It's just real music, soul music.
Let's talk about you as a child, because you touched on that, and you grew up in Kenner, Louisiana, a suburb of New Orleans. So you're right there, and it's all right there in your family.
Yes.
Your dad and your uncles. Tell me how. I mean, it was just like osmosis, music everywhere.
Well, music was a part of my life, and I had a really balanced upbringing because it was one part of my life, which in New Orleans is where my family would play. And I was a kid, you know, there as a kid doing stuff that a kid would do in Kenner, but then having this wealth of culture and music in New Orleans that I would bounce back and forth from. So it was really cool to have music be something that wasn't overwhelming, but at the same time have such a unique relationship with it in the community. And by the time I was a teenager, I didn't really think about music as a profession until I was in New York and doing it already. And I was like, wow, this is working out.
And you love it. And you started with the drums, but then your mom, suggested, how about the piano?
Yeah, we had a lot of drummers in the family. I was the youngest at the time, and there was a junior band, and I started playing piano really because we had 3 drummers, and we can't have a band with 3 drummers.
Did you want to play the piano? Did it come easily?
I loved it. It just was the right instrument for me. You know, you have a soul instrument, and that's my soul instrument. Clicks. Immediately, I just felt like I get it.
You went to a creative high school, special high school
Yes.
for artistic types in New Orleans. But
Yes.
then you end up here at Juilliard, just a few blocks away.
Yes.
Was that intimidating? Was that like, oh my gosh, I've got to get there? What were your thoughts?
I wanted to be here.
17. You were
Yes.
17.
Yes, 17, New York City, the big city, and really finding my footing and really just figuring out what I wanted to say as an artist. You know, I wanted to say something that resonated with who I was beyond my skill on the instrument, but just me as a person and my beliefs and the things that I want to share with people. So finding the voice is something that a city like New York really is very accommodating of.
So Stay Human, when you were at Juilliard, was when you started the band?
Oh, yeah.
And the title's from, just is it literal? Just
Well,
stay human, or is there some...
Stay human. Stay connected to what the source of our life and our well-being and all the things that make us human are the things that are good. It's a philosophy and it's a mantra, and it's the band name.
And you play on, of course, the Colbert Show, but I mean, you've played all over the world.
Yeah.
I don't know how you live this very busy life, but you're doing gigs in all kinds of venues.
Yes.
And what's that great New Orleans thing when you're just let out and the musicians go out?
Talking about the second line.
Tell me about that, because that, you just
Yes.
take us with you.
We do something called a love ride on our shows because I want to show people that a live musical experience can bring people of all walks of life together and be in the same room and not hate each other. It's hard to hate the person next to you when you're laughing and dancing and singing along with each other. So we do these things that are taken from the processional tradition, but it's not tied to a funeral processional or a tradition in New Orleans culture. It can happen anywhere. It can be hundreds of people in the middle of the street, and it looks like a riot. But it's,
Or a great therapy session.
yes, that's why, I mean, we called it a love ride for that reason.
Oh, it's a great name.
It's cathartic,
It's
you know.
a great name. Cathartic for you all and
For
and
everyone.
for the people as well. The Colbert Show, 2015, national television. What was that like?
I love doing the show because I learn a lot about different people and all the great personalities or politicians or actors or musicians that we collaborate with and that come through the show. And also just working with Steven, he's a great guy. What you see is what you get. You know, he's an incredible person. Mm-hmm. And when
He's
we
very
met,
supportive of your
of course,
music career.
It had to work that way because this is such a big job. Mm-hmm. But I also have such an artistic voice and a thing that I was developing before, and I really felt that he understood that. Going in, he was like, oh, I see what you're doing. I'd love to work with you on this show, but also continue to do all the things that you've been doing.
You have chemistry, great chemistry, you two. Which brings me to, what is that thing that you
the
play?
harmonica board. It's
I mean, I know you. I just feel like I've never seen it anywhere.
It's like a harmonica and a keyboard put together. It's something that is made with reeds of an accordion and reeds of a harmonica. Same company, but you know, I really play it in a way that I don't think I've heard anyone play it. And that's why I call it a harmonica board. I kind of treat it like you saw Stevie in the clip there.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Kind of how Stevie plays a harmonica, that's my harmonica.
Oh, John, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Really wonderful to meet you and to learn more about your
Likewise.
music. And he came in here, what would I call that? Humming? That's not even humming.
It's like, yes, vocalizing. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Thank you, John. Okay, you can watch the Grammy Awards, and that is this Sunday night. The 61st Annual Grammy Awards, February 10th, 8 o'clock, right here on CBS 2. And we wish the best of luck to Jon Batiste.
Yes, indeed.
To St. James Infirmary. And I saw my baby there. She was stretched out on a long, wide table. So